focus in on digital assets now. Joining us is Nick Motz, who's the CIO of Soil. Thank you so much, Nick, for joining us. It's a real pleasure to have you on the show today. And what a day to have you on, because I suppose we have to start first and foremost with this sort of legislative win, I suppose, for the space in the Senate passing the Genius Act. So it seems it's making progress. How have you been watching some of these developments?
Yeah, thanks so much for having us on. It's really great to be on. So as Soil, I think you just have to understand a little bit what we do. So we're a regulated global fintech platform that's providing fixed income style yield on stablecoins via investments in traditional financial instruments. So what's really unique about our model is that we allow investors globally to kind of onboard to our platform and enjoy passive yield on their stablecoins. So we can onboard kind of clients from anywhere from the world, and we're very active also in the US. So just kind of what you said with the new regulation coming up, it's just great for the full adoption of the whole market.
Yeah, I mean, how much of a significant move do you think this is for sort of the broader industry that you work in, and, particularly with regards to putting up those guardrails when it comes to stable coins?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think stable coins is used for payment methods, and I think over the years we saw that this is becoming really a lot more adopted. I think if we see the market cap today is like $250 billion, and that's like growing every year. So really, not only for blockchain companies such as us that we use it as payments, we can see a lot of traditional companies that are actually implementing it. So the Genius Act, in my opinion, will just actually further increase the adoption.
Yeah, great stuff, and no doubt that would help benefit your business. And just to bring it back to the uniqueness of your operation, you are bridging traditional finance with the crypto world, and this allows people to, or I should say companies, to actually obtain financing, and for those crypto investors to actually lend their stable coins to earn those yields from what is real world assets. So as you say, quite unique. I'm wondering, what the business outlook is for sort of a company like this in this space.
Yeah, thanks. I think the main idea is that we saw the broad, let's say, adoption of stablecoins as a payment method, but kind of the bridging element, which I really like between traditional finance and decentralized finance, so let's say DeFi, is that we're actually seeing the next move with stablecoins, and that is yield-bearing actually instruments based on stablecoins. So kind of throwing it back to kind of traditional assets, you have capital, let's say you have money on your own account, it's sitting there and it's not earning interest. So you start thinking of, market money funds. And I think crypto at the moment, we have stable coins. They're used as payment methods, but however, they're sitting in a wallet and not earning interest. So then you saw the BlackRocks come out with their BUIDL funds. So a lot of the biggest Wall Street players are starting to tokenize funds in order to provide yield on stable coins. And we see that as the next movement in crypto.
Yeah, no doubt the crypto space has been benefiting from a sort of more crypto-friendly White House, sort of more mainstream adoption, no doubt some institutional appetite as well. But another sort of significant move as well that we've seen just in recent weeks here is Circle's big IPO. I'm wondering, how you look at the significance and importance of developments like those.
Yeah, Circle, huge success. I was, preparing for this call, just saw that it's already like almost sevenfold since the IPO, the market cap. So huge success. And I think you can break it down into two parts, kind of what I always do with traditional finance and decentralized finance. So for traditional finance, I think there are companies and institutions that don't want to, let's say, buy cryptocurrencies, or they don't want to use crypto exchanges. So when you have a product with exposure to the crypto market, such as the Circle IPO, or you have, let's say, the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF, you see the traditional space really want a part of this huge growing asset class. On the second hand, in the, let's say, decentralized finance, you have stable coins being used widely. And not only Circle, but you can see in Paris, you have, let's say, Société Générale. So one of the biggest banks actually also come up with a stable coin pegged to the dollar. So globally, you can see the traditional space as well as the DeFi space really onboarding stable coins in their daily life.
Yeah, I'm going to just ask you a fairly broad question with regards to sort of crypto prices. I mean, there were a lot of analysts at the start of the year who had expectations for skyrocketing prices. Some of those expectations have abated as crypto has not been sort of immune to some of the uncertainties in the market right now. Although, as I was talking to Kevin Hinks about, I mean, Bitcoin is up right now, gold is down, the dollar is under pressure. I mean, we've heard from a lot of central banks this week with regards to interest rates as well. How does that all feed into what you guys are doing in this space, and how are you looking at all those developments?
Yeah, great question. I think regarding pricing, yeah, it's a little bit difficult. I think you can also, it's an asset class that definitely is a lot more volatile, and you should definitely always look at the inflows. So we see huge amounts of inflows going from, let's say, the ETFs, but we also see a lot of inflows through the exchanges. So that's always an indicator that kind of pushes prices. What we really focus on is, okay, we have these cryptocurrencies, but let's say if investors want access to the space and don't really want the volatility of the market, you can have stable coins, which is pegged to the dollar, and then you can use the stable coins to access different funds. So our platform is kind of like an on-chain asset manager where we actually produce the yield, but you can also access BlackRock Fund, KKR, Apollo. And I think this is a super important moment that we are democratizing access to the biggest funds. So you don't really have to play the volatility of the crypto prices. You can use stablecoins to access the best funds in the market and actually have return that is based on the traditional economic activity brought on chain.
Got it. Nick Motz, an absolute pleasure to have you on the show today. Thank you so much for breaking that us all down for us and giving us your update on your business. CIO from Soil there.